Hello again. I've been asked recently to talk some more on carrying methods. Now I'm not going to go into it too deeply because there are many and varied methods of carrying various packs and packages. The tump line, which was basically a long line for tying onto things, which in the middle, in the centre of the line, had a headband for fitting across the forehead. Then the ties went down the back and were tied onto whatever you were carrying. This was very good for portaging heavy material, heavy baggage. But I personally had not found it suitable for carrying my gear. It has been used for carrying blanket rolls. Now, some people carry a blanket roll as a pack itself. They put a lot of gear into the blanket roll, and they carry a haversack or a scrip, which is also called for some other light gear. Some people carry a lot of equipment in a haversack, and haversacks can be any size you want, basically, and still be authentic to the 18th century. I carry a haversack for trail foods. If I'm going on an extra long trip, then I will put some extra items in there, and I use it for foraging. When if I find plant foods or tinders along the side of the trail, that's where they go. I've got to put them somewhere, they go in there. Okay, let's put that aside for a minute. Now I chose not to carry the bedroll as a separate item because I found that both the haversack with a lot of gear on it on one side of me was really unbalancing. It just didn't feel comfortable. This knapsack actually used to be my haversack, and when I found it wasn't suitable, I converted it into a knapsack with two straps, two shoulder straps instead of the one. The problem I have with the bedroll as a separate item and putting all your gear in it is that once you open up your bedroll, once you unroll it, you've got to take everything out if you're going to use the blanket, and you've got to have somewhere to put it. Now, fair enough, you're going to have your oilcloth or your shelter prepared first before you do that, and you can put it in there, but it still means you've got a lot of loose items floating around. With a knapsack, you can take out what you want and put the rest back and use it as a pillow for the night, and your stuff is all tucked away and it's nice and neat. You can't do that with a blanket roll. Once you've got the blanket roll undone, as I say, all that stuff you've got inside, all the gear that you would have in here, has got to come out. Besides which, it makes the blanket roll a very large item. I don't know if you can see here, but it's big enough as it is. This is a good sized blanket. It's still got a reasonable nap on it. And I have got stuff inside it, which I will show you in a minute, but I don't carry the sort of stuff that most people carry in a blanket roll when they're actually using it as a pack itself. So I'll untie it from the straps on my knapsack, and then I'll show you what's in my bedroll, in my blanket roll. Okay, this is my blanket roll unrolled. The edges have been turned back at this end, as you can see. They're folded over on top of everything. Inside my bedroll I have clothes. This is a spare woolen 18th century style shirt. It's quite long, as they were in the period. This is for wearing at night in cold weather. People often ask what's the secret to using one blanket, just one blanket in winter. Well, I don't think there is any secret. It's a matter of experience and and thinking outside the box a bit, maybe. Leastwise, this is the way I do it. Also inside is a Monmouth Cap, which my wife was very good to knit for me in the correct period design. Pure wool, and a pair of fingerless mittens. I don't wear a lot of woolen stuff when I'm on the trail, even in winter, because it can make you perspire. If you perspire, your clothes will get wet, and if you go to bed at night with wet clothes, you will get cold. And if the temperature is very low, you will freeze. So if you do perspire on the trail, take off your wet shirt and dry it out by the campfire, and then put it back on again afterwards while it's still warm. And if you're carrying this stuff, put this on top. This is a wool waistcoat. Obviously I wear a waistcoat anyway, so this again is an extra one, and this goes on top. So I will take off my smock, I will put the wool shirt on over my waistcoat that I'm wearing and my other shirt, and then on top of that I will put this other wool waistcoat or waistcoat, and that will keep my top half warm at night. Of course, you'll need a good campfire, a good reflective campfire. That's a campfire with rocks behind it to reflect the heat back into your shelter. So there it is. Those are the items I carry in my blanket roll for keeping me warm at night. And that, as I said, is tied to the straps on my knapsack, because I find the knapsack carries well on the back. It stays centered, it has a chest strap to hold it firm, it doesn't move from side to side, and it feels comfortable to carry on the trail, and nothing loose to swing around or hang around. It's that's the type of pack I prefer. Okay, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.